Hello everybody and welcome to the Alien vs Predator Galaxy YouTube channel. This is Site Co-Administrator Corporal Hicks, aka Aaron Percival, and you're watching what will hopefully be the first in a series of videos that go into the lore of the Alien and Predator and Alien vs Predator franchises. For our first episode we decided to go for the King Alien or Rogue, or whichever of the various nicknames you prefer to go by. So, the King Alien is a unique creature that has only appeared in one piece of Alien lore. Two, if you count the novelization as separate. And that was Dark Horse Comics' Aliens Rogue. Now, Rogue was released in 1993, and it was written by Ian Edgington, and it revolved around Professor Ernest Kleist's attempts at bioengineering aliens for specific purposes on his research facility on a little asteroid in the middle of nowhere called Charon. The primary focus of these experiments involved attempts to basically bioengineer out the aliens' innate hostility. Despite some early setbacks, which aren't really delved into in either the novel or the comic, Kleist succeeded in breeding tame aliens, and he did this by taking advantage of the aliens' DNA reflex and using selective breeding. So Kleist specifically chose more docile hosts such as sheep, llamas and other cattle in order to make the resulting aliens less aggressive. His experiments were so successful that Kleist was able to walk amongst and touch the resulting aliens. In the comic, during the sequence where we see Kleist touching the aliens, they were depicted as looking like normal adults, but with the exception that each had slightly different cowls. One had tubes coming out the back of its head, and the other had slightly ridged heads, more similar to how the aliens looked in AVP Requiem than how they looked in Aliens. And it's possible that this was just artistic license, and not meant to signify any difference. In the same section in the novelizations, the aliens are only described as being smaller than usual. There is no other details given. Despite his success in breeding less predatory aliens, Kleist's attempts at breeding the docile equivalent of a queen consistently failed. Kleist tried utilising royal jelly to facilitate the maturing of a docile alien into a queen, but it didn't work. While not explicitly stated in the comic, it seemed that Kleist also had access to royal facehuggers and also attempted using dummies. These were cloned genetic material designed to mimic living bodies. He tried using these to gestate the queen embryos, but whatever he was doing to them resulted in all the queens dying before reaching maturity. Kleist kept at least 9 of these failed attempts in various tanks in his facility. Kleist eventually succeeded in creating his alien king, his chimera, his hybrid, his usurper, by utilising the DNA of a Grant Corporation spy who'd been sent to his facility to steal his research. He used that DNA to grow one of his dummies, and using a cocktail of xenomorph DNA, concentrated male hormone, and a complex biochemical soup. Kleist theorised that the lack of matriarchal desires, the lack of the desire to breed, resulted in the successful gestation of this alien king. Now, the alien king is depicted as being comparable in size to the queen. Like the queen, it also has a crest on its skull, but is a different shape and is spiked. In fact, quite a lot of the king's body had spikes across it, giving it a more armoured and bulky appearance as well. Another unique aspect of the king's appearance is that it has several small tentacle-like appendages around its mouth, but the purpose of these appendages is unknown. The professor truly believed he had succeeded in bioengineering a tame equivalent of the queen, as the hybrid showed no aggression towards Cray, the Grant Corporation spy, when he was put in the king's pen, tied down and helpless. This proved to not be the case, as when the king was introduced to other aliens, the hybrid reacted in a massively aggressive fashion, literally tearing them apart. Now, it wasn't specified whether these were the docile aliens, or whether these were just some of the normal stock that Kleist had in his possession. The king turned out to be immensely competitive, viewing the other aliens to be its rivals and a threat to its own existence. It was at this point that Kleist reconsidered the purpose of the king. Instead of being able to control his bioengineered alien warriors, the king would instead be used to eliminate aliens, to be humanity's weapon against the aliens themselves. Professor Kleist allowed the king to escape and make its way through Sharon Base to the hive where the queen herself resided. After killing any humans and any aliens that got in its way, including the queen's own Praetorian guard, the king eventually reached the queen and the two began to fight. Despite it initially looking like the king had the upper hand, the queen eventually subdued the king and killed him. In the novelization, it was expressly stated that the Queen was able to utilise her smaller size, faster speed, and superior intellect to wear down the King, and finally go in for the finishing blow. So far, the comic and novelization of Alien Rogue have been the only appearance of the Alien King in Alien lore. The concept of the King recently re-entered fandom consciousness when Sideshow Collectibles released their own take on the concept at the end of 2016. It had a very different appearance to how the King was depicted in Aliens Rogue. Protos Games, who published the Aliens vs Predator The Hunt Begins miniature games, have also recently announced they were releasing their own Alien King unit, known as the Monstrosity. This version of the Alien King also appears to be based off of the Sideshow Collectibles interpretation of the King, but no story details about the unit in the game have yet emerged. So this was the first episode of the Weyland-Yutani Debrief. I recently pre-ordered the Alien King unit in The Hunt Begins, which was what put me in a rogue mood, so that's why I've been rereading the comic and the novel and why I picked this particular topic to do. I hope you've all enjoyed it. If you have any thoughts, any comments, any feedback on our first attempt at something like this, please sound off down below and let us know. Be sure to check out our Let's Play videos, which we've been working on and will continue to keep producing, and keep an eye out for any more Alien and Predator lore videos. Thank you.